roaring through homes, communities, entire towns. Deep in a Colorado winter, not even the cold could stop the flames. Fierce winds of more than 160 kilometres an hour fanning the wild inferno in Boulder County, out of control. The blaze gutting this multi-level hotel in moments. It was sparked by power lines toppled by strong winds. More than 500 properties destroyed in just a few hours.
Just look at that destruction.
Tonight, there are no reports of serious injuries or deaths, and authorities are hoping for a reprieve, with snow forecast to fall tomorrow.
Tonight, President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin speaking for the second time in a month. The conversation lasting 50 minutes, well past midnight in Moscow. A senior administration official saying the call was serious and substantive, but suggesting they still do not know if Putin will ultimately still decide to invade Ukraine. It was Putin who requested the two leaders talk again this week. Tensions high in Europe after the Russian president's aggressive military buildup on Ukraine's border. These recent satellite images showing just that. Russian military equipment and as many as 100,000 Russian troops on the border. According to internal emails obtained by ABC News, U.S. Embassy staff in Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv is planning for emergency preparations to evacuate American personnel if necessary. Putin denies he intends to invade. In a new holiday message to Biden, he says he's convinced the pair could work together. But his demands so far, non-starters for the U.S.
Sudanese security forces on Thursday raided Saudi-owned Al Arabia Television and Al Hadath News Channel in Khartoum and confiscated their equipment. CCTV footage of the raid shows security personnel attacking employees. The Dubai-based satellite television station announced that several of its journalists were injured in the attack. The raid came moments after Sudanese forces had fired tear gas and live ammunition on protesters rallying against the October 25 military coup in the country's capital and elsewhere. According to a pro-democracy doctors union, 4 protesters were shot dead in Omdurman, a northwestern suburb of Khartoum, during the protest.
A boat that had been stranded with more than 100 Rohingya Muslims on board was allowed to dock in Indonesia early on Friday. The refugees include pregnant women and children and had been adrift off the country's west coast on what many had warned was a sinking vessel. Only after international pressure did Indonesian authorities relent and allow it to dock. The refugees were sprayed with disinfectant as they left the boat and boarded a bus in heavy rain. Oktina Havanti, an official at the UNHCR, said they will now be kept in quarantine for up to 14 days and undergo health checks. Local fishermen first spotted the boat off the coast of Aceh province on Sunday. They delivered food and water to the Rohingya, who were crammed on board the wooden skiff.
And there's more breaking news, this time on that truck driver who was sentenced to 110 years in prison for a deadly highway crash. Colorado's governor has commuted Rogel Aguilera-Mederos' sentence to 10 years. He was convicted on 27 charges for a fiery crash that killed 4 people in 2019. A petition calling for clemency was signed by more than 5 million people.
This is an unusual situation. You have a weird combination of mandatory minimum sentences that led to this completely bizarre, unexpected result that is uncommon. But as a defense attorney, that's exactly the problem with mandatory minimums, is that they take the power away from the judge, who should have the power to sentence, and they give that power almost exclusively to the prosecutor. A little too much power in the prosecutor's hand.
It's the end of an era, as Germany's nuclear phase-out enters its penultimate phase. 3 nuclear power plants will be taken off the grid on December 31st. Symbolically, one of them is the Brockdorf nuclear power plant, which became a target of protest by opposition to nuclear power in the 1980s. In 2011, the then Christian Democrat government under Angela Merkel reversed the decision to extend Germany's usage of nuclear plants, after the Fukushima disaster in Japan earlier that year. The 8 oldest reactors were shut down immediately, with the remaining 9 to follow in stages until 2022. After Brockdorf, 5 plants still remain: Grond, Emsland, Gundremmingen, Isar and Neckarwestheim will go offline by the end of next year, completing the 11-year phase-out.